Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. Today we're going to be looking at a DIY project. It's a room partition using 1x4 lumber, pine, and I'll show y'all a few things that I learned through the process. This is a pretty simple DIY. It does take some time to get it stained and to make all the holes and stuff, but let's get into it. First, I got these 1/4 inch T-nuts from the local hardware store. One thing that I did learn is that in all the hardware stores you never can find enough of these, and this is also a 1/4 inch threaded rod to go in these holes here, but I wound up ordering them or some T-nuts from Amazon, and they had plenty and they were a lot cheaper than going to your local hardware store. So that's one thing I would recommend. I pre-measured everything, and I wanted to test out a few pieces before I stained everything. So I put on my first one there. I wanted to leave a 1/4 inch gap between them, and here I pre-drilled that one, put that in there, and I wanted to leave a 1/4 inch spacer. So here I'm just showing how I did that. After I put that little 1/4 inch spacer, I did create a little piece of wood, and I put the center in there, and it helped me out, and I didn't have to be hassling. Another thing I did, I went ahead and bought a 6-foot thread because they didn't have enough of those. Plus, it was cheaper, so I measured them about 3 inches. I went ahead and cut them. They are a little rough on the edges, but as you twist them in, they're able to twist in. I would recommend some gloves, because the edges on some of those can be sharp. But once they start threading in, so I threaded the top one and the bottom one. And first I started with the bottom. I just started twisting the lumber. And here you can see I still had a ways to go. So I kept on twisting it until it was under the lumber on the top. There we go. As soon as it got to where it can fit, I found the center, and then I turned it the opposite way. That way you can start threading upwards. If the threaded bolt does move, you can get like needlepoint pliers or something. That way it holds it still while you're twisting the lumber. Then there it is. The first two are in, and I wanted to be able to turn them. So here I noticed that I measured the center of the bottom. However, it was supposed to be the center also of the top of the wooden beam, so I did have to move that over, but no worries. All you have to do is, that's a 3/8 drill bit, and you just get a 3/8 wooden plug that they sell. So here I'm creating the new one, and there is the plug. You put some wood glue in there, and you just plug it in, and then you just saw it off. After that, you sand it, and then you paint it, and you'll never be able to notice it afterwards. Sometimes if you wanted to do it quicker and not hurt your hands, or you can get one of these types of drills, and it'll go a lot quicker. Here we're just showing where I use that piece of lumber as a spacer to get the exact center, and also did it the other way, coming vertical and also diagonal, and that worked out very well. You can also measure them with a tape measure if you wanted to. Here everything's coming out the way I want it to, so I went ahead and took them all off so that I can start sanding them down. And then I went ahead and sanded all the pieces, and also stained them with this special walnut stain. Once they were all stained, I pre-drilled the holes and also added in all the T-nuts to them. Here I got the center. I also used a little jig for that to make it go by a little bit quicker. Once I got the center, I went ahead and put all the T-nuts on both sides. Here's where I ordered from an online store. It looks like a smiley face, and I got all these for about $11. They were over 100. They were a lot cheaper. They're called rivet, 1/4-inch rivet nuts, but they were a lot cheaper and they worked out very well. I should have used those from the beginning. That's how it looks. So one thing I would recommend is to go ahead and, if the local hardware store don't have the ones you need or the quantity, go ahead and order them online, all the same. This is a little tip on if it's rough on the edges, you can use that and it'll even it out, smooth it out, that way it goes on quicker. Here I was applying a clear satin finish after all of them were stained, and that was pretty much it. After all that dried out, this is the final way it looks. You are able to turn them whichever direction you want. I had them there slightly slanted. However, you can turn them straight or even turn them the other way, whichever way you like best. And this was a quick DIY that I did. And if you got any questions, just comment below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.